John, you can start.
Hey, Tre'Quan, welcome back, man. Just kind of talk a little bit about just your feelings coming back to New Orleans and, what it's going to mean to work with Jameis another year.
Hey, John, good morning. Honestly, it's a good feeling. New Orleans is honestly like home for me. That's all I know. I've been here my entire time from when I left college, and just honestly being around Jameis again, a wonderful teammate, a wonderful guy just in general. Last year we had some things planned, but I think a lot of things went sideways, and honestly, it's another opportunity, to really start what we were supposed to have last year. So honestly, I feel good to be back, and I'm happy I'm back.
Kyle? Hey, you're muted, Kyle.
Oh yeah, I can't hear you.
Sorry about that. How you doing, Tre'Quan?
I'm doing well, and you?
Welcome back. Look, man, you guys had some legendary workouts during the offseason last year with Jameis. Any ideas, or do you guys plan to repeat those workouts this offseason?
Oh yeah, definitely. We definitely plan on repeating it. Basically, when I told him I was signing back, he was one of the first people I called. I told him like, yeah, I'm coming back, and we had like a long conversation. Then we went to talk about working out, how we're gonna get together. And he was just like, nah, he was like, he got to take like more care of me and stuff like that. He don't want me working like as hard. He want me to like be more aware of my body and taking care of my body instead of, like working hard, giving it 100%. So definitely we already talked about working out, how we gonna meet up with each other in the off season. So yeah, that's definitely the plan. That's always gonna be the plan. Based on the person Jameis is, he gonna get you to work out. He definitely gonna get you around him to work out.
Thank you.
Jeff Duncan?
Tre'Quan, how you doing, buddy? Curious to know what do you think the potential is of this offense? I mean, I know you had so many injuries to key players last year. How do you view it, and what do you think? I know a lot of fans are excited about you coming back and Jameis coming back. I'm kind of curious to get your thoughts on what we can see this coming season.
Definitely. I believe if you pay close attention in the beginning of the season, one thing you learn about Jameis is going to throw the ball. Jameis is going to make plays that you think he couldn't make, and he's going to keep the drive alive. Sadly, we had a lot of key offensive linemen got hurt throughout the year, and that sucks. We had I got hurt when I came back. Jameis got hurt, so like you said, it was a lot of key players that got hurt, and we really couldn't get things going. I don't think I can recall like one game that everybody played together. All the starters, played together one game last year. Like I can't recall, and that's tough. Being in this business, because the number one thing in this business is to win, and like you make it so much harder on yourself to win when you don't have all your key players. So that'd be the biggest thing. You know what I mean? If everybody stay healthy, man, it's gonna be one hell of a show, one excited offense, one explosive offense. And I definitely look forward to it being that this year.
And if I can follow up, what will be the impact of Mike Thomas coming back, assuming he's come back and is healthy?
Oh man, that's just gonna be a whole nother level that nobody has seen. The last year and late ending on the year before that, the previous year, Mike Thomas is just a whole different caliber player. And when he's on the field, you definitely can see a different type of offense. The offense moves much smoothly with him on the field. So I'm excited to get him back and excited to have him in this offense again, because we really need him to be a part of the offense.
Hey, what did you think of the trade the other day? A lot of people talking about that. I'm curious to get a player's perspective. Where were you at when you heard about it? What'd you think?
When they traded with the Eagles, I don't know where I was at, to be honest, but I remember it. And I was like, that's Trey. Like, I don't know. Like, it's going to be exciting. I'm wondering what's going to happen if they're going to get a receiver or somebody else on offense. Like, I'm just excited because I'm all about the team. I'm here for the team. You know, I'm pretty sure, you know, Mickey and DA, they know what they're doing, and they're going to get somebody who's going to contribute to the team much as possible. So I'm all for it.
Thanks, Tre'Quan. Good to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
John,
Hey, Tre'Quan, you mentioned DA a little bit, just some of your impressions about him and kind of what he's going to bring to the table this year. And then have you had a chance to meet Cody Burns yet?
I'll start with the Cody Burns. I talked with him on the phone a few times. I haven't met him in person yet. Today, I'm going to meet him in person. You know, they've been busy with a lot of draft meetings and stuff for the upcoming draft. I'll meet him in person today. And as far as DA, man, I love DA. He's a great coach, man. Very, very like he's energetic, but not like overly energetic. He always want to come in and get to work and get out the way. Like we come and do what we have to do our work. I'm not going to hold you forever. If we do what we got to do, you in here, we get it done. There's no need for me to like prolong the work. If you do what you got to do, we in and out. Like and he knows what he's talking about. Great football coach. As you can see, when he did fill in last year, like he did what he was supposed to do.
Kyle,
Tre'Quan, any elements to your game that you'd like to improve on for 2022?
Man, it's kind of repetitive. Year in and year out, I always say like my biggest thing is pretty much being healthy. But man, honestly, I don't know what it is. Like I just need to stay healthy, and everything else going to play its role. But I don't know what I do. Like I spent extra time stretching. I spent extra time, you know, working on the little things. But it's like God just have something else in stores for me, but I can't question, you know, his word. You know, I got to stay strong in my faith and just follow the process. And, you know, I hope this year is going to be, you know, a year I stay fully healthy, and I pray on it, and I just got to keep my faith. But I ain't no telling what God has in store. So like my biggest thing, if I stay healthy, everything else going to come along.
Follow up to that, have any of the medical professionals giving you some advice on what you should do or could do to help you stay healthy, especially the lower legs?
Yeah, my training staff here, they always tell me, you know, make sure I stretch, make sure I do the little things. Don't try to rush into anything. You know, even if I do feel loose, you know, stay at it a little longer. You know what I mean? So that'd be the biggest things, to make sure I don't skip any steps, and make sure I get a real good stretch and a real good warm up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll jump in. Tre'Quan, have you had a chance to meet the new, strength and conditioning coach, Coach Ray? And I know you guys are getting ready to ramp up that off-season program. Do you have any idea if it's going to be different in any way from what Coach Dalrymple did?
Man, it's definitely different. Being here, working out with them, they're very hands-on, and they do a lot of like I don't know how to say it, like stuff with like computers that analyze data, and they show you the data, and they show you what they're talking about based on, you know, the performance you're giving. And they really hands-on, and they really like trying to get in your head and see where you at, so we can, you know, unite and become one and be on the same terms, using the same terminology, and trying to get our body right. And basically they don't force anything until you as you're working out. They like, honestly, they're very open. They tell you like, listen, if you're feeling something, just tell me right now, because we can shut it down, you know, and that can help prevent injury. And you can be, you know, if you're 80% today, and say if you run, you tweak something, now you're going back down, instead of you being 8%, you know, and like you tell me, and we, you know, instead of we running, we roll out a little bit more, you know, we stretch a little bit more, and then tomorrow you're 100%. And they made that very clear, like they're very open, you know, and they want you to communicate with them, so we both be on the same page. Because if we're not on the same page, it's not gonna be well. We're not going to be able to, work out together and complete our ultimate goal, which is getting us bigger, faster, and stronger, and prepare for, the season.
So it's kind of individualized. In other words, you're getting a little bit of a different program maybe than another player. Is that what you're talking about, the computerized data? Or?
Okay, so I wouldn't say it's a completely different program, because
Mhm.
he said, like, it's crazy because he mentioned it yesterday. He was like, I'm not going to give you your own separate workout, but it will be like a couple of tweaks in there just for you. Like, say if my right hamstring is stronger than my left one, they would put more exercises specifically for me for my left hamstring instead of my right. So that's how it is. It's not basically individuals, like everything is as a group. But he said in those workouts, he would put something specifically for you if he sees it's something that you need to work on personally.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything else for Tre'Quan? I think that's it. Thank you, Tre'Quan. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Y'all have a good one.
We'll start with you. Yeah. All right. Roddy, go ahead.
I can go ahead. Okay. Hey, Jaleel, just welcome back to New Orleans, man. Just kind of talk us through the process of kind of how it came about that you ended up back in New Orleans.
Honestly, I think it was just I think it was my agent who reached out to Kai, and they had been in communication for a little bit, and I think once my agent informed me about going back to the New Orleans Saints, I thought it was a good opportunity, and I jumped on it. I jumped on it. Being that I was there last year, beginning of the season, I saw how that team was able to operate. I was able to see the culture of that team, and I thought it'd be good for me just to go back and just immerse myself in that culture. So yeah.
Just a quick follow-up. How much did it help just working with having worked with Dennis Allen, and now he's obviously the head coach?
I think it helped a lot, but I think I really worked more so with Coach Nielsen than I did with Coach Allen at the time. So I'm excited to be able to go back and be able to work with Coach Allen and and Coach Nielsen and those guys. And like I said, when I was there for at the beginning of the year, I definitely enjoyed my time with those guys. They're great coaches. They know what they're doing. They're very well experienced. So yeah.
John Hendricks.
Hey, Jaleel, welcome back to New Orleans, man.
Thank
Listen,
you.
just a question for you, just as a DT interior guy, what do you feel like your strengths are and what you bring to this Saints defensive line?
Me being a little bit older, like an older guy now in this league, I think I bring that experience. I think I know what it takes to win in this league. I've been around it for a while. I've seen it firsthand. So just me being able to bring that level of experience and just my just anything that I can do to really help this team win. Like I said, I've been around a lot of guys who have done a lot of good things in this league, and I tend to emulate that. I want to be like those guys who came before me that I played with. So just being able to go out there and just just give off, just show guys that I'm an experienced guy in this league.
Jaleel, can you talk a little bit about your time with the Vikings? Obviously, you had a lot of battles with the Saints, and specifically playing in the Superdome in front of those fans. Just talking about kind of the impact they had on the game.
Mm-hmm. Wow. So I know we've had a lot of good games against the Saints. Going back to the Minneapolis Miracle, that was probably one of my favorite games against the Saints. It was my rookie year. And every time we've played the Saints, it's always been a hard fought game. It was never an easy game. Coach Payton, at the time, he was he definitely got that team ready to play. But it was always it was always an enjoyable game. It was always good to go out and compete, against one of the best teams in this league. Drew Brees and Michael Thomas and guys of that caliber. It was always a good, tough, competitive time when we played the New Orleans Saints.
Can you talk a little bit? I know obviously you had a brief stint here last year, but just the relationships that D-line room has and kind of the close-knit group that they are.
Yeah. So, again, I was only there for, I think, like a couple weeks, but just seeing how those guys bonded, just seeing how those guys gelled together. Even when I got there, just seeing how they just embraced me and, into that brotherhood, into that room. I greatly appreciated that. Those guys are, a really hardworking group. So that's one of the things that I'm very, very excited for, being able to get back and, just being able to, just immerse myself in that group and, being able to go to work with those guys.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but with Hurricane Ida, were you in New Orleans or did you evacuate with the team to Dallas?
Yeah, I was in Dallas.
What was that kind of like for you, Jaleel, just that whole experience? I mean, and then being a little bit of time with the Saints and then going to the Texans and all the wake of the hurricane.
Honestly, I took it for what it was. I was able to go down there. I know we were in Dallas. We were in the hotel. That's in the hotel. But I took it for what it was. I went down there. I worked. I was, was a part of the team, and I didn't really, but it was a lot. Being able, flying that, because being in Houston is only like a 20-minute flight. So, flying down there and, being a part of the team and then having to fly back. And, it wasn't, I didn't really, it didn't really bother me as much. Like I said, I took it for what it was. I still enjoyed my time. I still enjoyed being able to, be a part of that team and, just being all a part of that process.
Anything else for Jaleel? I think that's it, man. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Jim.
Start off with that. I saw Wikipedia's explanation, but I just want to make sure that was right. So you can tell me.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they probably got it right by now, but nobody know my grandma gave me the name before I was born. So there was really nothing I had to do with it, or no story of me eating tacos, or that's why my grandma gave me the name. My government name is kind of harder to say, so people just went with taco. It was easy, and it just kind of stuck and remained kind of that way.
Okay. So, I mean, what did you have it like from first all your life, pretty much? I mean, nobody's ever.
I had it before I was born. Yeah. So
Okay.
I always tell a story of how I went to my kindergarten class and they asked me to write my name, and I wrote Taco, and they said, "No, write your real name," and I had no clue how to write it yet because I was so used to going by Taco the whole time. So
Okay.
that's why I tell you, like, I never really went by my real name. Nobody really ever called me it. So Tacos has usually always been my name since the beginning.
Okay.
Kyle Mosley.
Hey, Taco, welcome to New Orleans, man.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Good. So why do you believe you are a good fit for the New Orleans Saints defense?
I just believe, as in body size wise, a lot of those guys, we have the similar body types, as in I'm 6'6", 200, 65 pounds. I can move around. I'm athletic. I played outside linebacker in some systems to show you I can do everything an outside linebacker can do, but I also played 4-3 end, so I can do everything a defensive end can do also. So the fact that I'm versatile, I can stand up, I can get down to three-point stance, I can go inside, I can play outside, really do a lot of different multiple things, just because I've been asked to do a lot of different things, as in dropping back or rushing the passer. So I'm happy to get, back in the 4-3 front where it is a chance where I can put my hand in the dirt and rush the passes, which is what I like to do. And I'm happy I can kind of get back to doing that.
One follow-up, have you had a opportunity to talk to Cam Jordan?
I haven't yet. I haven't got a chance to meet with the guys. That is one thing I'm looking forward to. Not only Cam, but a lot of the guys in the locker room. Just getting a chance to get in there and get a chance to mingle and meet a lot of the guys and get that camaraderie.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
John Hendricks.
Hey, Taco, obviously your time in Dallas, worked a little bit with Chris Richard, and obviously he was a secondary coach, but just kind of talk about his impact, and now he's a co-defensive coordinator in Dennis Allen's scheme. Just kind of your impressions of are you surprised a bit that he's there and just kind of reuniting with him a little bit?
Only surprise I have is just because he's such a great coach that he hasn't got a head job. But I'm surprised that he's there. No, I mean, he's a great coach. He's passionate. He tries to get a lot out of his guys. He brings his passion to work, and you feel that. And a lot of players want to play for a coach just like that. So I'm happy to be, back with Coach Richard. He's a great coach, smart coach. Like I said, very passionate coach. So, and like I said, a familiar face that I had around in Dallas for my time while I was there.
Ross Jackson, you have anything?
Sure. Yeah. Taco, you might have talked about this a little while ago, but how big was Ryan Nielsen's presence for you in terms of somebody that has a lot of experience as a defensive line coach that's now co-defensive coordinator for the New Orleans Saints?
No, I mean, it's a lot. I mean, as you look in the past and you see what the history they've been able to have, getting, good production out of their ends, as in, Cam, of course, been doing it for a lot of years. Then you have Hendrickson with the Bengals, who obviously when he was here, he was doing a lot of great things. So you see the production and everything that he's able to get out and get the best out of him. So I'm happy to be with a coach in a system that gets the best out of their defensive ends and lets them rush and lets them get out after the passing.
Excellent. Thank you.
Taco, do you know any guys on the Saints team that kind of were recruiting you here? Or
me and TK was together in Kansas City, so that's a familiar face in the defensive line room. That's one guy I can really just think of off the top of my head. So that's a familiar face that we had a good relationship and love to pick back and forth of you pick each other's brains on different things back when I was in KC.
anything else for Taco?
Yeah, I got one. I want to ask you about Taco. Were you in Kansas City with Alex Okafor at all?
I was with AO. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Big OG. Yeah. AO, that's my guy. So I did get a chance to play with AO. Great vet, ultimate pro. So he was a great guy.
Did you talk to him much about? Have you talked to him since you signed?
I haven't yet. I haven't got a chance. I was talking to TK, but I haven't got a chance to reach out to AO to kind of see. I know he was here for a couple of years and did some good things. So I haven't got a chance to really talk to him much to see how he liked it. But I definitely been checking in with some guys that's either from New Orleans or on the team about what's the go-to spots. To get some good food out there.
What kind of recommendation did you get? Do you remember?
I'm getting some, of course, a lot of, seafood spots, boiling seafood spots out there. I know a lot of gumbos, good spots to get some good gumbo. So I gotta read my text messages, but I got some good spots I can get down once I land. I definitely can go through the checklist for food spots.
Hey, have you played in the dome before? Like maybe with the Cowboys, maybe, or?
I haven't got a chance to play in the dome, so this will be my first chance to actually get a chance to play in the dome. I think when I was with Dallas and we played them, they came to Dallas, so I haven't got a chance to actually go to the dome and play there myself.
What have you sort of just heard about it? And I'm sure
I've heard nothing but great things just about not only the dome but just Saints fans in general, just how passionate they are, how rowdy they get, how crazy the stadium goes, and how passionate they are about Saints football in New Orleans especially. So like I said, I'm in Dallas, so I get still a little influence here. I still see people wearing New Orleans gear out here too. So like I said, I know it spreads far. And matter of fact, I think my mom actually sent me a picture back home in Columbus, and she found somebody wearing a Saints jacket. So I see that the fans are everywhere.
Okay, I wanted to ask you about that, man. It's kind of strange. You're born in Columbus but went to Michigan. How'd that work? How'd that come about?
I mean, the good thing is, we had a couple guys do it before me, so it wasn't the craziest thing, but it's definitely something we were doing to kind of changing up a little bit. The good thing is my good friend Karis LeVert, he actually left and went there the year right there before me, and Trey Berg before that. So we were having a good, crew of, maybe they were basketball guys, but Columbus guys going to Michigan, and being successful.
And what about all the Ohio State guys in the Saints locker room, man? You gonna be able to get along with those guys?
Hey, listen, we got the last win, so I get to talk my trash for the next year, until next year at least. So I'm gonna feel good for this while we're up at least.
All right.
Ross Jackson, do you have something?
Yeah, one last thing. Thank you. Just wanted to follow up on that Michigan conversation. Actually, Aiden Hutchinson, of course, a big draft prospect here. I don't know how much you've gotten to see of him and his time at Michigan here over the course of the season, but have you gotten a look at him, and what are your thoughts on him so far?
Oh yeah, definitely impressed. He gets after it. He has definitely a tenacity and an effort that's up there. And I play with some great guys that bring that same will and effort every day too. So I definitely see that in him. I think he's going to be a great player. A lot of great gifts, of course. When you come to the league, it's a different league. So you got to learn, you got to adjust and keep improving, getting better. So he'll have that ahead of him. But I'm excited to see what he can bring. I mean, I'm always excited, for more Michigan guys, more of us to get in here and do our thing. So always excited and happy for him.
One last thing for you too on that, but you came into the league in 2017. There's a couple of guys on the Saints defensive line that have been, that are younger guys. What's some of the knowledge that you hope to be able to bring to them here over the course of this offseason?
No, I was just trying to bring, anything I can that they see that, that I do that they like or can pick up off of, or, I pick their brain, my brain, whatever it may be, or just things I've seen. I play with a lot of great players, a lot of good, great defensive ends / outside linebackers. Even last year, you get a chance to, play with TJ, share the field with Melvin, them guys. And then before that, the Frank Clarks, the Marcus Lawrences of the world. So I've gotten a chance to play with some good ends and, see what it takes. So I definitely, like I said, I'm always a open ear and, somebody that's I'm always, willing to preach what I know and help the guys out on and off the field, either way it goes.
Thank you.
Anything else for Taco? All right, man. I think we're all set. Appreciate your time today.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Taco.
Taco.
Welcome to